Hello, everybody. This is Derek, and with me today is the only man who regurgitates his protein bars to use them as a nighttime mud mask, Carl Mandrioli. That's why his skin glows like the moonlight on a lake. Carol Mandrioli, everybody.
Oh my gosh, your grossness creativity never ceases to amaze me. Welcome to the Backpackers Podcast. Please subscribe for Derek's commentary, where he will gross you out in new ways every time. With me today is a man who doesn't understand the purpose of air filters because they just sit there and collect dust. Derek Somerville, how are we doing?
Wow. That was deep. That was deep. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah, thanks.
Right. Yours is a lie. Mine's the truth.
Okay.
We have a fun one today. But before we start talking about all these fabulous comments we've received from our beloved viewers and listeners, what do you want to talk about? Something what do you want to talk about? Something you're excited
I don't think
about.
you know where these comments came from. Okay, the title of this episode is we asked 100,000 hikers for their best ultralight tips and hacks, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that we get 100,000 answers from the folks that are part of the B&B family.
We get like 95,000.
Where do you think I asked this question? What's your best ultralight tip and hack? Like what was the venue here? Any predictions?
Oh, like where you promoted this?
Yeah, where I asked the question. Where I got all these answers.
I want to say the podcast and the YouTube channel, but no, not.
No.
Social media.
Place that you might be a little surprised.
REI. There you go. Got it. You put flyers everywhere?
Flyers.
Did you go door to door?
Yep.
Door to door.
They had to pull the tabs off the flyers so they could email me the answer.
Oh,
I did
old
that,
school
and I did
college
newspaper
days.
ads too. Newspaper ads, magazines, Backpacker magazine, and Backpacker magazine. Just
smart. Very smart.
I actually, there's a Facebook group that's devoted to ultralight backpacking, and I couldn't believe, like I joined it a while ago, and I'm on there periodically, but I couldn't believe that they had over 100,000 people on there, and a ton of people responded to this prompt. So, yeah, that's where it came from.
Because some of these are great. I'm excited to talk about these.
Yeah, some of them are for sure. Honestly, the best one isn't even on there. I got somebody who responded who basically wasn't trusting of my question. I told him exactly what I was going to do. Like, hey, we're going to talk about this in a future episode of the podcast. And he's like, hey, so what are you going to do with these? I'm like, just we're going to like, are you going to cite your sources? Are you going to tell people who said these hacks? I was like, yeah, we're not claiming them. We're not going to try to pretend like they're ours.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, huh. And
look, this is what you do, though. You have people immediately be skeptical of what you do. This is what you send off. So
then he revealed who he was. He's like, actually, like this isn't my real name on Facebook. I'm actually a park ranger, and I just generally distrust people who are stealing other people's ideas.
Oh,
and then
interesting.
And then another person chimes in, and who's not me, just some other person's like, dude, he told you what he was going to do with this in the prompt. What's your problem? So that was kind of funny.
Good for you. Yeah.
I
some of these are
picked on Rangers. Should we do another picking on Rangers episode?
Maybe it's time. It might be time to revisit that. Yeah.
Right.
Some of these are disgusting or not. I didn't think the best, but it really shows you everybody has their own little niche on the trail of what they like. So
for sure. Oh yeah, it covers everything. You're gonna have at least a few takeaways for better, for worse. So that's coming. And then Derek, you are going to review a piece of gear today.
I am.
Right?
I am going to review a piece of gear. I'm very excited about it. So we'll talk about that later.
We will. All right. So before we get started, I've got a bonus ultralight hack. Get the best ultralight quilt at enlightenedequipment.com. That's it.
Wow. Carl, what's the Bible verse today, buddy?
Thank you for asking, Derek.
Thank you. What do you have for us juicy listeners here to hear?
Juicy. Exodus 23:2, you shall not follow a crowd to do evil, neither shall you testify in court to side with a multitude to pervert justice. So Derek, are you a crowd follower?
Am I a crowd follower? I like to think not. I find if everybody's doing something, I feel like I in general will be like, let me do the opposite of that, or let me do something different. I don't know why that is.
Even if what they're doing is good, you still want to do the opposite.
I said most of the time in general. Like I'm thinking more like fads and things that everybody's excited about, right? You know, like everybody your age got excited to lose their hair. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it and I'm going to comb it. So stuff like that. But mainly like,
wow, that's impressive. Impressive.
you
right
like
there.
that? You like that?
Yeah.
But no, I'd like to think I stray and do my own
Okay.
thing. But what about
Yeah.
you? You like to follow the crowd. You're a crowd pleaser?
I'm a crowd pleaser. I'm a doormat. I'm a people
Mm.
pleaser for sure. I'm trying to work on that. I'm getting better, but I'm not perfect.
You're moving the measuring stick, millimeter by millimeter over the years. So
right.
very
We've got so the reason why this concept came out is because we're like kind of referencing the crowd. Like I asked the crowd, 100,000 people definitely is a crowd. So all right, let's get to it, man. We're just gonna go back and forth. I gave you the full list of reactions.
I have
I
the
took
full
the best
list.
ones.
The first one I have to mention just because you've done this a few times, and I think it's important to note that Neil B was like, "Don't do this," and you've done this a handful of times, and it's simply just don't poop your pants.
Yeah,
and that seems to be a problem for you.
So of all of these great hacks, these great tips, these great ideas, that's the one that you pull first off the list.
That's not even on my favorites list, but I just thought it was appropriate for you. So let me jump to one of my favorites, if I may. I like this one. Danny R gets it. Sticks and stones are better than toilet paper. Your kit will weigh so much less. Danny gets it. Danny gets it.
Yeah.
She or he, I'm not sure.
It's a she.
It's a she. She did not include pine cones in there, but I can add that on my list. Just a little addition. But
we're gonna save the pine cone conversation for next time because that's gonna come up again for sure.
I'm sure it will. It's great. I don't think you're at that level of usage though, but
no, I'm still toilet paper, so I disagree. But what she's saying is an ultralight hack. So if you can figure out a way to get away with that. And especially if you know your territory and you know what foliage you're going to have access to versus being, like above tree line and the alpine, then I think that's a good tip.
It's a great tip.
Pending that stuff.
Great tip. It's more of an advanced tip. So well done, Danny.
Okay.
Well done. We get it.
All right. My first one is Riley C said never new shoes. That's a tip right there. Never new shoes.
Yeah.
What do you think about that one?
I think I've done that actually.
New shoes?
On the trail. Yeah. I did do that. Yeah. Not my favorite. I think that's the year. I want to say that's the year my Achilles tendon started to hurt. And Jared gave me some like Tiger Balm or something like that.
Right.
And I don't know if I kept the shoes or not, but not enjoyable. I was not pleased with myself. So
gotcha. Well, the reason why I picked this one was not because it's pretty simplistic, it's pretty obvious, but I beg to differ. I beg to disagree. Of course, I think that if you can try out your shoes ahead of time, like Derek probably should have, so he avoided injury on the trail, that would be the best situation. But if you're through hiking and you're literally burning through your shoes after a few hundred miles, like, are you going to break in like 7 pairs of shoes before a long through hike? I don't think so. So I think never is too strong a word.
Why not?
Preferred.
Why not? Why? How come you can't prep for this big 6-month journey or whatever you're doing?
7 pairs of shoes.
You're gonna go through 7 pairs of shoes.
You're gonna put, let's say, 50 miles on 7 pairs of shoes.
Stop.
Dude, you're not that guy. You're not that organized and on top of things to do that. Don't pretend like you do that. Get it.
Dude, I would do like 2 pairs of shoes tops, but I wouldn't.
The guy who's like, wait, is it today that we're podcasting? That's not the same guy who's like, I am prepared with 7 equally broken in pairs of shoes. That's not the same guy.
Well, we're gonna hear. We'll find out later. My next one is Crayola crowns are an inverse candle with a 7-minute burn time. That's from I hope I'm saying this right. Hugh Hugh. I like that first of all because I'm a fire starter, as you know. But wax is extremely flammable, and I plan to use some intricate things on the next trip. I like to always keep my fire game on point. So and I appreciate that Crayola crown. I'm gonna have to throw one of those in there. Just bring a whole box.
That surprised me. I had that one on my list too, and I was like, Derek's not gonna like this one because he's got his own little setup. And I know you do a lot of coloring with crayons around the house. But
on the walls,
especially.
Why don't
But
you think I
that's
would like it? I understand.
because you got your own. I don't know. I feel like this is Mickey
You know,
Mouse
Carl, as a
time.
teacher, I feel like you should remain teachable. And I feel like I try to remain such. And therefore, when Hugh S has a fabulous idea, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And that's a great
Okay.
idea. So, you know
All
what?
right.
I know you're not used to that. You're used to
Okay.
mocking me. It's fine.
I would like to see at least one crayon on the next trip. 100% guarantee it's not going to be there.
Wow, the
Find out.
doubt. Let me make a note.
Oh
correction.
yeah,
Let me make
Well,
a
in our
crayon
next
note.
episode, yeah, I have full reason to doubt. Basically, I've got reason to doubt you, like if you promise to do or bring anything on the trip at this point. So we'll get to that though. All right.
Okay. What's your
All
next
right.
one?
Next,
Yeah.
Sarah L. Bring water to an almost boil. Put it in your water bladder, assuming you have one. Then put a shirt over it. So it's kind of like this warm pillow you can put inside your sleeping bag to keep you warm on a cold night. What do you think of that one?
I actually put dashes by that one because I wanted to mock it a little bit because maybe it's my own insecurity because I don't trust the bladders overnight. I just always, because we've had so many bad experiences with bladders. I guess I'm always worried, like if that thing leaks one time in my sleeping bag, I'm done, and I'm gonna hate it, and I'm never. So I guess I'm just like, I get the appeal. I mean, if you obviously, but I just don't trust the bladders. I just don't. So
yeah,
that's my own problem.
So
Sarah, I'm sure
I think that's why. I think what you're saying is wise. I don't think that you have to keep it in all night. I think you just put it in there, warm up your bag, and then that thing's going to cool down pretty fast. It's not; those aren't typically insulated unless you really want to bring a heavy one. But even the time that you have it in your bag, the risk of like rolling over on it or not paying attention, and basically pouring water into your sleeping bag on a cold night is really a bad idea. So.
But see, here's my problem, Sarah L. Here's my problem is it's not you. It's not the idea. It's me. I am worried I will kick it, punch it with my feet, if you will, at the bottom of my sleeping bag. Because I'm going to put it at the bottom of my sleeping bag to warm up the feet. That's what I'm going to do.
That's smart. Yeah, I like that.
And then I'm just going to be kicking it unexpectedly or rolling. Yeah, I'm just going to ruin it. And I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself. That's it.
Yeah, Derek's a violent sleeper, in case you can't
see how I walk through that right there? Yeah. Well, that's why I have that tight sleeping bag to minimize my movement. But you keep yours unzipped, so you're all over the place, and that's why I've had a couple. As you guys can tell here on the YouTube channel, a couple black eyes.
You're talking about
scars,
flailing around and kicking things in your sleeping bag, and then telling me that I'm out of control. I like that. That makes so much sense.
I have learned to contain myself. No, I'm not wild.
You don't. You're afraid. You're afraid of a water bladder in your sleeping bag, and rightfully so.
True.
But it's because of your flailing ability, and then you're like, but actually, Carl's the flailer around.
But I'm the only one with scars on my head. And if you go on the Patreon on the next trip to Catalina, I will show you the scar on my forehead right here from Carl's giant toenail scratching me in the night. Just sliced my head open like a can opener. I barely made it out of the tent alive. People say most of the danger's outside the tent. Not true. Not true.
You make so much sense.
My next one is I know you don't wear any of these, so this may not apply to you. But when your underwear gets dirty, flip it inside out. Tommy D.
I knew you were gonna pick that one.
Yeah, I know.
Who said that one? Who was that?
Tommy D. Tommy D.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Not going to happen. That might be the worst one on the list.
What are you talking about? Why is it the worst one?
Because if they get dirty, you're just going to change them. Right?
Are you?
I'm going to. I'm never. Who's only bringing one pair? Are you only bringing one pair?
I only wear one pair. We're talking like 3 days. And I also occasionally will swim in them to, quote unquote,
wash them in the water that people are about to filter. But go
ahead. Exactly. No, okay. I'm not bringing like 3 pairs. Are you bringing 3 pairs? What are you doing? How many pairs are you bringing?
So the pair that I'm wearing, one extra pair, swap it out. If one gets dirty where it's like in an emergency, it's too dirty, then I'm gonna wash it. And then
an emergency with your underwear? What do you mean? I
haven't had that, but I'm trying to project what this issue is where he's talking about dirty underwear. Maybe
let's dive down that rabbit hole a little bit.
Something.
Yeah, but what do you mean by emergency? What is that to you? An emergency in your underwear? What are you talking about?
I haven't had the emergency, so I'm projecting it onto this guy.
Let's see if you can answer the question now. I know you haven't had it, But
If
what is it?
you had some bad chili mac with beef, that could be an
Okay.
emergency.
So you might have a situation there. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, what if you're on a 4-day trip though? Like we go on 4 or 5-day trips.
Right.
What's the difference? You're going to just spread 2 underwear out for 4 or 5 days?
I feel like you want me to say what I just said again. You want me to repeat my strategy.
You're wearing it, and then you're like, but you're saying you're going to wear them for multiple days, and then you're going to switch.
You wear a pair, then you
Keep
swap
going.
it out with a new pair, and then once you swap it out, you wash the old pair.
Where are you washing your underwear on the trail?
This is a totally different episode about how to wash clothes.
When have you washed your underwear on any trip I've ever seen you do?
Not with you, because our trips are too short. But if I'm doing a through hike, like on the John Muir Trail, I was washing clothes constantly.
Guys, this is where you got to watch out for Carl, because he's sneaky. Okay, he's sneaky. He's mocking Tommy D, flipping the inside out. But you know what? Our trips are shorter, but we go on 4-day trips. He's bringing 2 pairs of underwear, guys. You do the math. He's not washing them. Tommy D,
not turning it inside out. Yeah.
So you're wearing them.
You're trying to, okay, what you're trying to get me to do is to say that I'm wearing one pair for multiple days.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes. Thank you, Tommy. I got you, dog. I got you. Okay. So that's what I'm saying is they get dirty, but you don't care.
But you won't flip them.
But you,
what are you
you're telling me your underwear.
Okay, are you talking about the dirty, like you're getting a little bit of sweat on it? Or are you talking about dirty like you're soiling your underwear? What are you talking about here?
Oh my goodness. I'm talking about like your underwear gets dirty. People decode dirty underwear as various things. You're thinking of it as like poop and pee and all this other stuff.
Correct.
You're telling me you don't think you hiking uphill, sweaty everywhere, isn't dirty underwear by the end of the day? That's what you're telling me?
That's not the same thing as poop and pee. Correct.
It's still dirty.
Okay, that's why I'm defining it with you. Okay. Either way, I told you my strategy. You don't have to like it, but
you know what? I don't like it. I like Tommy's idea, because in the real world, Carl, that's considered dirty, and we change our underwear, or we just don't do it at all and own it.
This concept of you know what? I think I'm gonna be clean the whole backpacking trip is just not gonna happen. Like, you're gonna get dirty, so deal with it. Suck it up.
Okay. All right. Well, tomato, I guess. Okay, cool. All right. What do you got? What's your next one?
Next one. All right. I got this one. I'm kind of curious about. Baking soda is a great addition to your first aid kit. Heartburn, acid reflux, bug bites, stings, paste for cuts and abrasions, foot soak for blisters. Ultramarathon runners have used it as a supplement also. I didn't put the person's name down. So John said that one.
John.
There you go.
Okay.
John D.
Okay. So what were you just that it has that many uses?
Just like,
what is
yeah, like I think what they're saying is correct, but would I really use it for those things? And then is it really, like when you talk about bringing powders and things like that, those are really kind of annoying to bring.
Why?
Right?
Even in like a Ziploc bag, or like even in the can itself?
Correct. In the can? Yeah,
or
correct. You don't want to bring the can or the box. You don't want to, and then if you're reaching into like a Ziploc bag, what are you doing? Like pulling handfuls of it out? Like that's just not what you
I think do. He's handfuls. Maybe he brings like a separate plastic spoon or something, but I think he's clearly, it sounds like he's done
a baking soda spoon.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you never know. Okay. It's like a toothbrush squirt bottle anyway, no. I digress.
That was on the list, by the way.
He clearly has some kind of system. Like he has to have some kind of system that he's more. I mean, he's doing all kinds of stuff.
He didn't share the system. That's why I said I'm curious about it. Is like I like the idea, but the practicality I haven't figured out yet.
Maybe it's easier than you think, but I could see the huge benefit with that for sure. Yeah. I had one. I like this one. Bring a husband and fake injure yourself at the start of the trip, so that when you can shift the bulk of your weight, into his pack. Right. That's Anna. I think you're thinking like, elite level, strategies here. That's genius. I don't know, but you want to keep this on the DL from your husband. I'm assuming he knows you do this, but hopefully not. That'll be epic. That's a crazy idea. What would you think your wife's ever done this to you? That's my question.
I mean, I carry all of the group gear anyway, and she's kind of the opposite. She's like, I can carry more. Oh, and so I give her a little more. It's fine, but I just want to make sure that we're traveling as efficiently as possible. But this is not just an issue between spouses. This is an issue. Like we've had a guy on our trip do this. Like he didn't fake the injury, but he got injured a couple miles in,
Yeah,
and
the
we
injury.
were soon thereafter passing his gear around.
Right.
And Derek likes to do that about 2 miles in. He's like, I've had enough. Who
Just
wants
carry
to
my whole
carry
pack.
my such and such?
The whole pack. Yeah, just hold the pack.
Yeah, just right.
The only concern I have for Anna is if you give him too much on it. And you know your husband, I'm assuming. You know if he's just a horse, if he's a mule, but if you give him too much and he gets injured, then you got to carry everything. And you don't want to like push him. You want to push him like just below the limit. I get that. But like
Right.
you got to make sure you don't go over the limit. And only you would know that. So as long as you're doing your homework, I say game on. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Huh?
What do you got?
I had that on my list too. Okay, next one. This is one of my favorite ones by James J.
Okay.
I like to have what I call a rally rock, tree, or something where I lay all my stuff when packing up in the morning. That way I don't lose my tent stakes or smaller gear items. I make sure to check it closely before I leave camp, or even when I stop for a break. So we'll call this one the rally rock. So that way you kind of create your mini yard sale, or with the guys we go with, a full yard sale. And because everything's kind of in one general spot, it's easier to search for and not lose stuff.
Couple things. I think it is a wonderful thought in general. My question is, how efficient is James J with this process? Because he's saying he's doing it like at camp. I get it, right? Once you can find time at camp to put all that's great. He's saying he's doing it on breaks as well. So some breaks, is it like a lunch break for an hour? Go for
Probably.
it. Is it like a quick pit stop to hydrate and check to see if everybody's staying close? I hope not. So how efficient is he with it? If he's got this dialed in and this is like a thing he does, great. But again, like if you're checking it in the morning and everything's there, why are we checking it on a break? Like, did something fall out? Are we worried?
You're unloading everything again. Maybe you're digging around, you're pulling out. I don't know. If you're taking a full lunch break, you're pulling out the food. Some people pull out the stove for a hot lunch. They pull out the chair.
Well, okay, but my argument to that would be if you're pulling everything out at camp and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have this for lunch, just put it on top of the pack. Just put it on top so you can like grab it, right? So so
what you're saying is you are efficiently packed for the day ahead. So you're like, we might get rain in the afternoon, therefore my jacket is easily grabbable. These are the snacks that I want to eat today, easily grabbable. You have everything streamlined, you're saying.
Easily. Yeah, I think James J can erase the afternoon check or the break check, unless he really wants to do it. But I think you can erase that one if you pack out of time and think about what you're going to eat and whether or not.
I agree. So. I think for whatever reason, for this particular tip, you're interpreting it as like, is this a good idea for me? Is this a good idea for James? But these are tips for everybody. So people that aren't as well organized, it's weird for me to say that because I don't really believe you that you're well organized, but as well organized as you, let's say like Rocky, where we've been on a break.
Oh yeah.
You guys are jumping into a lake and I'm finding his wallet and keys in bushes.
That was amazing.
In bushes.
That's facts.
So
that's facts. I can't. Yeah.
He could use a rally rock, right?
He could use a rally rock. The rally rock could be good, but can they? I mean, we love Rocky. We know Rocky, but Rocky without the rally rock can take a while to get ready to go, right? Like he kind of inadvertently rally rocks himself because his stuff's already all over the camp sometimes.
Yeah.
But if he was more intentional and laid it out on a little thing like James J is doing, could that be better? Or would it slow him down more, you think?
I don't know. Could he be his own rally rock since his name is Rocky?
That's true.
He could lay things out on his stomach and be his own rally rock, literally.
On his stomach.
Figuratively.
I don't know how far he'd get, but yeah, I see where you're going with that.
We got time for a couple more, so pick wisely. What's your next one?
Okay, my next one is flip your pot over. This is probably more for camping. Flip your pot over on your stove, and cook quesadillas or a grilled cheese sandwich on the bottom of the pot.
Yeah, but if you're camping, then you can just bring a pan, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if I bring this on the trail because this caught my eye from Michael F. because I love a good quesadilla, and it got me excited. But then I'm like, I probably would just if I'm camping, I'm gonna bring like a full skillet or something, right?
Right.
And I don't know if I'd bring this pot on the trail.
So I'm thinking of like a
But if
titanium pot.
Yeah.
I don't
it'd be
know
fun.
enough about pot stability or if you can wreck your pot doing it this way, but assuming that it works, like the titanium on the outside is the same as the titanium on the inside, which I think it
Yeah.
is, then you just, use that flat surface. If it's enough surface area, I've got a pretty dang big titanium pot, and that's not enough surface area for a quesadilla.
Yeah. I think the pan is the only way you can really do that.
Yeah, just
But
buy an
that's
Ultralight
tricky.
pan.
I need to see it, Michael F. I need to see it in action.
Yeah,
that's probably
I
what
think
I
it's
need to
too
see.
much. I think that's kind of like the duct tape on the trekking pole thing, where it's like you're trying to get a little too clever. It's not. That's.
I'm
not
hoping.
Good. That's
I'm hoping it's the
Yeah.
thing. If I want to see it. I got one more.
Right.
What do you got?
Okay. You want one more? Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Here's one. Here's one of my favorite ones from Amy F.
Okay.
Put reflective tape on your bear canister. Very easy to put it somewhere by a tree or log when it's light out. Much harder to see in the dark. If you need to add toiletries or anything you inadvertently left out. And honestly, I don't know what the solution is for the daytime, but people do lose their bear canisters or forget where they put them. So you need to have some sort of signs or something for that. But this is a solution for nighttime. I really like this idea. What do you think?
I think she needs a nighttime rally rock so she doesn't lose stuff. That's what I think. No, I can see the use. I can see the use for sure. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay.
That's good. I like that one. And then my last one is actually something Michael F. also said, but I don't know if I agree with this as much, Mike. I like the quesadilla idea. I want to see it, but this one, we've all talked about how much I love socks on the trail. Your tip was change your socks midday. It's a game changer. Now, there's nothing more, Mike, that I love than putting on a fresh pair of socks at the end of the day when I get in the tent. I'm changing clothes for camp time. Get the slippers on, whatever. I love a good pair of socks. Best feeling. But if I now change midday, I'm already bringing 4 pairs. That means I'm doubling socks to 8 pairs. That's a lot of socks. Unless I flip it like Tommy D and just do it, inside out. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a lot of socks.
Or you can wash your socks on the trail.
Wash your socks on the trail.
With your socks on. How about that?
Swimming with my socks on. That's it. That's the answer right there. It's good. I like it. These are great. You guys are some good ones.
I know what he said. Mine's more like laziness. I don't want to sit there and, untie the shoes, retie the shoes, peel the socks off, put the new socks on, dig the socks out of the pack. They're usually in the bottom of my pack, so it's more.
I mean, I want to love that one. I want to,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I can bring 8 pairs of socks.
All right, I'm gonna say 2 quick ones that I'm gonna say no to, and then I got one. The best
Spam
one.
singles?
The best one is nobody said yet. Strangely,
Spam singles. Rose M.
Spam singles. Yeah. We've talked about spam before. Stop it, folks. You're better than that. And then we got ants chew through Dyneema, so it's best to carry a ground sheet treated with permethrin. All right, so this might be more of a solution for people out east that have more of a like I don't ever use permethrin, but apparently you have to use it if you live east of the Rockies.
Right.
So, but I'm just generally against ground sheets, so you can't convince me on that one.
Wow, it's harsh, but I get it. Yeah.
All right. Best one. Somebody responded that actually does listen to our podcast. Chad B's been listening for years, and his best tip, his best piece of advice was listen to the Backpacking Listeners podcast. So
that's
Chad. That warms our heart. Thank you so much.
Well done, good sir.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right. We got a few more. So we'll see the response to this. Maybe we'll save the ones we didn't get to because there's definitely some interesting ones on here. So
there's a lot.
Ones. Yeah. But thanks for sharing.
It was awesome,
and
guys.
hopefully there's interesting ones on there, some takeaways. I don't know. Did we get to all the ones on your list? Is there anything we missed?
No, I feel like those were great. I got all mine.
There's like a couple there's one about pee. I thought you'd for sure say
pee.
And then,
I saw the pee one with hydration pills. It was too cliche if I did that one. I thought you were going to maybe jump into that one.
No, you did other
You
cliche
pee
stuff.
near camp all the time, right?
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, you announce it to everybody and then you go, but you do it.
I do not announce going pee. I announce going number 2 because you will follow me. We've talked about this before.
I mean, who wouldn't? But you know what I mean?
Okay. All right. You got trivia?
I got trivia, and it's going to be a doozy. We're going to do some random trivia coming up right after this.
The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Roan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Roan uses rock-solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right. Love the creativity. You came up with the idea of random trivia for the 10th time.
Well, random trivia is fun. It's kind of like it's kind of going to be like a little speed roundish, like you do like to do with the guest. And so I thought I'd kind of implement that strategy of random questions, because
it's not the same thing, because we don't ask trivia questions. Those are opinion-based questions.
I like, folks, that he's already angry about the trivia and the style of it, and he's not being flexible. So that just tells you he's a little on the spectrum. There's nothing wrong with that. All right.
Or just generally concerned that you can't come up with trivia that's more creative.
You are a teacher I would give an IEP to. That's all I'm going to say. I love you, but it's true.
Making fun of people on IEPs. That'll like
my daughter has an IEP. It's great.
All right.
Nothing wrong with an IEP. Okay, number 1. What is the most stolen food in the world? We bring food on trips, Carl. It's relatable. Is it bread?
I was going to say bread.
Is it
Go ahead.
coffee? Is it chocolate? Or is it cheese? What is the most stolen food?
Not coffee.
In the world?
Like, when you think of people, all the examples of people starving, and would you take a loaf of bread to feed your family? That's the example. So, but is it real is the question. I could see it being cheese or chocolate, but I'll go with bread.
It is not bread. I'm sorry. It is cheese. Actually, fun fact, 4% of all cheese made is stolen. That's a big problem. It's a big problem, actually. I saw a documentary about it, ironically.
I think that there's far fewer people that are lactose intolerant than they think.
I think you're right. I think it goes along with gluten-free. Number 2. What sport has been played on the moon? Is it golf? Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Correct. Golf.
All right, thank you.
Did you see it on TV?
Actually, sorry, I should have listened to all the answers. Or is one of your answers trick question?
Maybe. Do you want to hear the answers?
Well, because what if the moon landing's fake? Then nothing's been played on the moon.
What was pretended to play maybe on the real moon landing? Possibly.
What was played in Area 51 that looked like the moon for a while?
Oh, that's funny. Are you going golf? Final answer without hearing the rest?
You already said it was correct, so yes.
Okay, that's correct. Oh, I thought maybe I'd get you to change your answer. All right, that's good. Okay, final question. This is the past trivia. This is it. Which animal kills the most people per year?
Hippos.
Are you ready? Is it mosquitoes? Sharks?
Oh.
Is it sharks?
No.
Is it bees? Or is it parasites?
It could be parasites or mosquitoes. I'll go with mosquitoes.
It is mosquitoes. He passed.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
You had no idea. I love it. That's great.
No, I thought it was hippos, but I thought you're going like big game animal kind of thing. So
hippos in Africa for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but mosquitoes. I think you actually asked that question before. That's why I know it.
Maybe a long time ago. I'm just recycling everything.
Okay,
good job. You passed, dude. 2 out of 3. Good job. Look at you.
All right.
Smarter every day.
We got some tidbits. And we got Derek's review coming up here, but we got a new Patreon member named Steve, who I think is the same Steve who's been interacting with us on YouTube, but he hasn't responded to my email yet. So we'll do a full shout out later. But thank you for joining the Patreon family, Steve. Really appreciate it.
What a guy.
We did an episode about like the first 5 things you do when you get to camp, and Sunshine Sally says the first thing she does, and that many women do when arriving at camp, is go to the bathroom. And we got that one wrong. So she wanted to represent.
Well done. Yeah. I mean, going to the bathroom is kind of a big deal, you know?
Yeah. She also says that we should be multitasking more. Like while the meal's heating up, she changes into her sleep clothes. And then Anna also had a comment about changing into her sleep clothes. Like that was on her list of her top 5. I think that was like one of her top ones. So I had 2 people talk about sleep clothes. They didn't say pajama pants, but how many backpackers out there have sleep clothes?
I think a lot.
What do you think?
I think a lot of them
I don't think
do.
so. Like, are we talking about your
disagree.
next set of clothes you're going to wear during the day, or clothes specifically to sleep in?
Either or.
It's not the same thing.
I know it's not
one
the
is
same
extra weight.
One is extra weight. One is too much, and
Right.
one makes more sense. But like I don't know. I mean, what am I bringing? I'm bringing the PJ pants, but I wear those every night, and then I take them off and put on my.
Yeah, those are sleep clothes, which I've told people.
So
like nobody else wears pajama pants that I've ever heard of before on backpacking trips ever.
That's why I'm different.
For like little kids, maybe.
You asked if I follow the group. I don't.
Right.
Slippers.
Right. But those are sleep clothes, and we have 2 people referencing them. So that's what I'm asking.
So that's what I'm saying. If you so that's what I'm saying. That there's the other option of where you have like a specific, like I'm gonna wear my next day clothes, and maybe you bring, I don't know what, like some people are bringing like 3 pairs of clothes.
Yeah.
Right. So
okay, I'll put it a different way. You say that you've got sleep clothes, and I'll say my pack's lighter than yours. Let's compare.
Is your pack still lighter than me, even with my slippers and sleep clothes?
I think, okay, we haven't ever done a trip where we're like, hey, we're not going to bring anything outside the ordinary. We're limiting luxury items. We're going to hammer miles. We're going ultralight, like no chairs, none of that stuff. But if we did that, how much do you think your pack would weigh for, say, like a 4-day trip? What could you
without a chair? Without a chair?
Yeah, or like any extra luxuries.
Without my beautiful, if I had to take out my slippers, my pants, I'm still going to keep one fleece and a rain jacket. And I'm going to take out a chair. I think that's at least 2. I could probably get it under, I want to say I could get it to maybe like 19 pounds.
Okay. And that's what I'm going for this summer. We're doing a long trip. We're hammering the miles. I'm bringing very limited luxuries. And so I'm looking for sub 20 pounds. So, and I don't think there's a lot of folks out there that are, and you can, I invested in some new gear, so we'll see if that works, but sleep clothes aren't going to make the cut. Extra pairs of underwear aren't going to make the cut.
How many socks are you going to bring?
I'm going to bring 2, the pair that I'm wearing, and then 1 extra pair. That's it.
So you're going to like dry them out, reuse them?
Yeah, but I mean, we have resupply stations as well. So, but yeah,
okay.
That's what's going to happen.
That's huge.
Yeah. So it's not, All right, let's get to this, man. You haven't reviewed a piece of gear in stinking forever. So what do you got?
Well, give me some gear to review. Katabatic Wind shoes. Carl calls me up. He's like, hey, dude, do you want to, they want to know if you want to review these shoes from Oboz. I said, send them. Now, first of all, I love the shoes. I'll just start with that. But I think, and I could be wrong. I like a crazy pair of shoe. I have all colors of shoes. Carl knows this. But I want to know if Oboz will tell me, did they send me the yellow shoes because that is their least popular? And they just were like, we have extra. Let's just give it to them. That's fine.
Here are the other choices for those on YouTube. We got
they got gray
with some yellow trim.
Was that like a rust?
Gray trim. This looks like you, that one right there. That
no, gray. Is that gray? No, you know what? Actually, I kind of like the yellow the best. Actually, now that we're going over it. Yellow. Let's keep it. What do they call it? Is it like neon or what do they call it?
That's a good question. What color is it? Winter gold. Winter gold.
Winter gold, guys. So anyway, here they are. Here's my winter golds, and I think I'm a perfect candidate to review this currently because I'm going to give you a little backstory. I just went on a trip to San Diego to watch my nephew play baseball. Blah 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 blah. I had some extra time. I brought these little easily flat packable 0-drop shoes, and I doubled up the insole. And I walked around all day, got tons of steps. And then before I even got back to the hotel, my back was just killing me. My body was not used to 0 drops to the point where I'm like, I got to rest, I got to stretch, blah, 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 blah. 2 days later, the next day, no problem. But the second day, I never have a back issue ever. And I bent over just to like grab like a paper bag off the floor. Nothing. I didn't even get to the paper bag. And
why is the paper bag on the floor? What happened there?
I think it was my daughter's or something. Anyway, for school. Anyway, so I've been over, and all of a sudden I hear this, like, it wasn't like a muscle curling up and cramping. It was like a pop. It didn't make a pop sound, but it felt like a big pop inside my body. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I pinched some kind of nerve or something. Hurt so bad. And I was out. I was like just immovable for a few days. It was ridiculous. I got back to normal, and then I was like, you know what? I got to get rid of these shoes. Wear my main shoes, and then the Oboz come in, and I throw the Oboz on, and I'm like, whoa, am I walking on a cloud? Is this like marshmallows on my feet? What are these?
Marshmallows.
It was fabulous. I still wear them. I'm still wearing them
Okay.
every day, every other day, every day. I
Oh,
mean,
okay. So you
they're
like 'em.
great. I love them. They're
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend these shoes. Going to give you a ton of support. Make your back feel like $1,000,000 by the end of the day.
Okay.
I weigh, what am I, like 160? So even if you're,
On a good day.
I think on a good day,
I don't know. I have
pre
no idea.
burgers and meat. But if you're Carl and you're like 290, then you're probably still good
Mm,
with these shoes. And I think
yeah.
that they would support you plenty. So I know they had a
Okay.
great support. They feel great. So, I mean, honestly,
Okay.
bring them on the trail. I'm going to bring them on the trail actually. So
Okay. That's the best thing that you
yeah,
can say about the shoe is that you're going to bring on the next trip. So we've got a
yeah,
Catalina trip coming up soon. You're going
yeah.
to bring it to Catalina.
We're going to bring them. I'm going to bring them and try them out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's the best review.
they're great.
So little concern that you have your daughter bring a paper bag instead of a backpack to school, but that's a different story.
She has both. It's fine.
Okay.
she's high
Oh my
luxury.
gosh. Okay.
So
Let's get
yeah.
into some details here. I know that you're not
Okay.
the details guy with like the stats on the shoes, but there's people that want to hear these. So
Give
it's
them
got
the
an
stats.
8mm heel to toe drop, which is kind of like mid-range. Definitely not the
Yeah.
zero drop like you were talking about.
No.
The weight on the shoe, it's funny because some brands do like weight per pair and some brands do weight per shoe. This is weight per shoe is 12.3 ounces or 349 grams for people like Derek who know their stuff. And that's on for like a trail shoe that I'm going to say that's like mid-range, maybe slightly on the heavier side.
Slightly on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a trail shoe. So you're using it and it's going to be sturdy. And like Derek said, it's going to support his back and you haven't had any back issues since. Have you had any paper bags on the ground to test that out?
A few. I just lined them up down the hallway,
Yeah, that's
and I
smart.
got everyone.
That's smart.
It's great.
Okay.
So,
in terms of like cost, they're I don't know, they're probably like they're 185, brand new. They're like the latest. This is the latest edition. They came out literally this spring.
Yep.
So that's got to be, that's not the high end, not the low end, probably middle for shoes these days. Shoe prices have skyrocketed.
Yeah. I mean, throw a pair on at the store, walk around. They're magical. They were great. So Oboe's well done. I'm very picky about shoes in general. So when I threw these on my little puppies, I walked around and I was pleasantly surprised. So
okay.
Yeah. I'll bring them on the trail.
All right. Interesting. So last thing I got though, Derek, before we close out, is that Rocky is going to close us out after we do our closeout.
He's stealing my after credit closeout.
Yeah, and you haven't heard this yet, and so I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's like our show's like on the lighter side. We're tips and tails with a sense of humor. We're not like heavy duty, but his closeout's on the heavier duty side. He's got some stuff going on that he was comfortable sharing, so we're just gonna we're gonna close out with him. And
you know what? I love transparency.
I'll let him share, but if you want to join us in praying for him, then he would appreciate it. We would all feel honored as well. So
good on you, Rock.
That's all I got.
All right. That's all I got. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. We will see you next time. I'll keep it mellow since we have a heavy outro. And remember, throw those crowns in your bag and burn some wax when you're on the trail. See you next time. I want to fly around the world.
Yo, B&B, it's Rock. I've got one minor thing here and one major thing. So the minor thing, a few weeks ago, I was describing how I was at Costco, and I'd been going there a lot recently. And now I'm going even more so, which is actually going to lead to the major thing that I'll tell you about here in a minute. But I was at Costco, and on one of these trips at Costco, it was my oldest son and me. We were running through the store, and for whatever reason, I just kind of decided to go all throughout the store and look at different stuff, so we ran from place to place and stuff like this, with the cart getting heavier and heavier. I mean, not too heavy. We didn't buy a ton of stuff, but you know what I mean. And should have had a backpack on, right, Carl? But, we get to the end and check out, and then obviously everybody knows that who goes to Costco, and if you don't go to Costco, here's what happens. You check out, and then you go to the end of the you go to the end of the line, and then you got to go get your receipt checked off by somebody at the exit door. So there were a lot of people going to the exit door at the same time. Me and two other dudes were dead even to get to the exit door, and one guy makes eye contact with me. We both look at each other, and another guy next to him doesn't even look at us, and all three of us start pushing our carts fast, if not sprinting with our carts to the exit. We get to the exit, and then I never said who won that race. Carl reminded me that I didn't say who won, and it was actually me. Logan and I won that race against those other 2 cart guys. We got our receipt checked off first. Now, recently I've had to go to Costco even more. And that time that I was in there actually really paid off with going around there, because I've had to go a lot more. And the reason why I've had to go more is because my beautiful wife, Jennifer, had a stroke. And at the time that I'm recording this, it was 12 days ago. She's been in the hospital for 12 days. She'll probably be there for at least another 3 weeks. And then it's going to be a lot of time of rehab and PT and physical therapy and occupational therapy and stuff, which we're working out with the insurance and stuff. But yeah, she's, she's there in the hospital right now, and I'm here at home sitting on my front steps. I've never sat on my front steps before. Lived here 15 and a half years and never sat on these things. And I wanted to share it all with you because, you guys are like, from the people that I've met from the B&B, you guys are like family. You really are. Big extended family. And speaking of family, man, my family's been great. Her family, my family, have all been helping. Her mom has been there a ton. There was one time where she didn't leave the hospital for 61 straight hours when I had to go back to work. And then I came back and, spent the night at the hospital, just in Jennifer's room and stuff like that. So, and my sister's family's been great. My sister-in-law has been awesome. Even my own brother wants to come out from Texas to help, but he's working. I'm telling him not to, because we have so much support around here. And my fridge is full from coaches and from neighbors making me meals and stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? But I just wanted to share that with y'all, because I know a lot of you are going to be praying for her. And I really appreciate those prayers for my beautiful bride. But I want to end this on a real positive note. Those times at Costco, man, they've paid off. And I've been able to get into Costco and get out of Costco with everything we need for a week and a half. Because me and my sons, we're not the shoppers that my wife is and stuff. So, but I did want to say that after one of our most recent trips to Costco, when I dropped off all the groceries and went back to the hospital, I'm sitting with my wife in the hospital, and she tells me to turn on the TV, and we just don't watch TV, right? And I'm thinking maybe she wants to watch March Madness, because in her bracket, which she filled out before she had the stroke, the day before she had the stroke, she's kicking my butt in March Madness. So I'm thinking that's what she wants to turn on, but no, she turns on this channel that has all this scenic stuff, scenic places. And we were watching it, and after a while I go, hey, you can watch this on the TV, or you can actually go out there, because I've seen that. I've seen something like that. Next picture comes up. I've seen something like that. Next, little footage. I've seen that. I go, but I know you don't want to backpack, because here's the deal. She loves the outdoors, but she doesn't want to be in the outdoors overnight. She's a little afraid to camp, not afraid, a little intimidated by it, just uncomfortable, right? But here's where I'll end it, because I know this is getting long. I'm sorry. Obviously, my thoughts are a bit scattered, but I'll end it with this. When I said that to her, she's never wanted a backpack in the 15 and a half years we've been married. 15 years and 9 months we've been married. But she goes, just kind of out of nowhere, no. And she said this more laboriously. She's just relearning to talk again. She said, no, when I recover, and she said it in more broken speech and like in a whisper, no, when I recover, I want to backpack with you. And whoa, praise God, right? Man, praise God. Love you guys. Go get them, B&B.